Hi Professor, here is my home assignment. This is a TED Talk. I will continue the one in last video. So now when technology allows small video of our pain and struggle to be broadcast to the world, we wonder that, what is next? Our country feels more popularized than ever, yet we are still being told to pull up our pants, be respectable, be less angry, smile more and work harder. Even the attitudes of millennials themselves are overdue for an update. Research done by the Washington Post in 2015 about this supposedly woke group found that 31% of white millennials think that blacks are lazier than whites, and 23% say they are not as intelligent. These are like surprising things to me and shocking. And these responses are not that much different than generations in the past. And it shows that unfortunately this generation is repeating the same old stereotypes and tropes of the past. Now, a study conducted by David Bender Research and MTV in 2014 it found that 84% of young millennials were taught by their families that everyone should be equal. This is really a good thing, a really positive step, but only 37% in that group actually talked about the race with their families. So I could understand why things may be confusing to some. There are definitely black millennials who are succeeding. Movies Black Panther, directed by black millennial Ryan Coogler, and showcasing many others broke all sorts of records. There's a crop of television shows by creatives like Donald Glover, Lena White, and Lisa Ray. Beyonce is like the queen, right? She is like everything. Young black authors are winning awards. Serena Williams is still dominating on the tennis courts despite all her haters. And there's a crop of new politicians and activists running for office. So I don't want to talk that kill these moments of black joy that I too revel in, but I want to make it clear that these wins are too few and far between for people that's been here for over 400 years. Like, that's insane, right? And most people still don't really understand the full picture, right? Our stories are still misunderstood. Our bodies are still taken advantage of, and our voices. Our voices are silenced in the world. That still shows little concern for our everyday struggles. So our stories need to be told in a multitude of ways by a range of voices talking about diverse and nuanced topics, and they really need to be listened to. And it's just here in America, right? It's all around the world. Millennials make up 27% of the world's population. That's around 2 billion people, and with countries like India, China, Indonesia, and Brazil, along with the United States, accounting for 50% of the world's millennials, it's clear that the white, often male, heterosexual narrative of the millennial is only telling half the story. Now, there's many people trying to broaden the palette. They are fighting to get their stories told and bust the millennial stereotype, whether it's students in South America protesting statues of Cecil Rhodes, and or who's framing wheels about Nigerian life online. But I want to make it clear that I want to make it really clear to everyone, and just because things look more equal than they did in the 20th century doesn't mean that things are equitable at all. It doesn't mean our experiences are equitable, and it certainly doesn't mean that a post-racial society, that thing that we talk about so much, ever became close to being a reality. I think of Joy, a middle-class 20-something who did everything the right way, but she couldn't go to her dream school because it was simply too expensive. Or Jalissa, who knows she can't be medical at her job, the same way that her white peers can. Or Trina, who knows that people judge her unconventional family choices in a different way than if she were a white woman. Or actor A.B., who knows that the roles he takes and gets in Hollywood were different because of his skin color. And then there's Simon. So Simon, by all means, would be an example for someone who made it. He's a CFO at a tech company in San Francisco. He has a degree from MIT and he's worked at some of the hottest tech companies in the world. But when I asked Simon if he had achieved the American dream, it took him a while to respond. Well, acknowledging that he had a really comfortable life, he admitted that under different circumstances he might have chosen a different path. Simon really loves photography, but that was never a real option for him. My parents weren't able to subsidize me through that sort of thing. Simon sighed, maybe that's something my children could do. So, it's kinds of stories, the quieter, more subtle ones that reveal the often unique and untold stories of Black Monorials that show how even dreaming may differ between communities. So we really need to listen and hear the stories of this generation now more than ever, as the baby boomers age and Monorials come to prominence. We can talk all we want to about pickling business in Brooklyn or avocado toast, but leaving out the stories and the voices of Black Monorials, large swaths of the population. It will only increase divisions. So, stories of Black Monorials, brown Monorials, and all Monorials of color really need to be taught, and they also need to be listened to. We'd be a far better of country and world. Thank you. And here is my TED Talk. Thank you, Professor. Thank you for your listening.